Okay, now that we have it applied to our footage, let's take a quick look again. Here's what the footage looks like. Nothing terribly special. It's nice footage. Whoever shot it over at Pexels, thank you, Pexels. We'll turn it on. Let's go over the basics here. The basics. Well, first of all, you can always use these presets. There's 18 presets that go from basic to crazy, and I implore you to try them because they're always a good place to start with. Let's look at a couple of them. So there's dots with some swirl. You see how they have the swirl pattern. Here's with dots with swirl and animated noise. Yeah, maybe you can't see it, so let's see if we go full screen. Well, you can't see it that clearly on this material, but the swirling pattern also is undulating a bit. Here's lines with swirl. That looks pretty cool. Lines with undulating swirl. Wavy lines with undulating swirl. Guilloche, which is that engraving that's found on money. Animated guilloche. And there's a few other money looking patterns. And then there's these things called contours, which we'll go over all of this coming up. But let's go back to our basic setting, so our default setting. You can always get to the default and under My Presets, Load Defaults. So there's our defaults. The first thing you probably want to do after you choose is choose your pattern. You have dots, squares, or lines. And these are pretty self-explanatory. This scale should really be called frequency. The larger it is, the more of whatever it is. The smaller it is, the fewer of them. Let's go with dots. It's easiest to see what's going on with dots. So you have a finer pattern or a coarser pattern. Okay? And the angle is, you can rotate the pattern. Well, this might be easier to see with lines. So here it is with lines. So you can change the angle of the pattern. And the rotation speed is, instead of it being at one fixed angle, you can have it so it automatically rotates if that's what you would like to do. We'll go back to our defaults again. And you have the bright color and the dark color. And these can be whatever you wish. You want to make the bright color red, so be it. And the dark color some other color, that's fine too. So you can do interesting duotones this way. These two things, edge softness and tone strength, they're sort of anti-aliasing controls. The edge softness is honestly is a limited value, but this tone strength, if you find that you're having some issues with, see the little bit of aliasing that's going on here? This tone strength helps that out quite a bit. It's actually even more pronounced when looking at lines. So if this is off, you see it pretty clearly. Let's actually give it some angle too so we can really see the problem clearly. So, turn this tone strength up just a little bit, and it kind of makes that issue go away. So those are the basic. That's the basic how it works. Well, you know what? Let's continue. Let's continue with input levels. Input levels are let you basically kind of control the the size of the dots in the different areas. The the names are pretty self-explanatory. If you're working on Resolve, you know what lift, gain, and gamma are. So this pulls the blacks down, this pushes the whites up, and this moves the midtones around. And you basically tune this. Same thing with white point and black point. This crushes the blacks, clips the blacks, and this will clip the whites. You basically tune this to get the the look that you like, and that's very much input dependent. Okay, I think we should wrap up this first lesson here, and we'll go up into some more advanced effects.